I'm Lily.
And I'm Kiev. And welcome to the portal of our minds.
We out here slanging crystals, man. I got this amethyst right here. I got this amethyst. I got this fluorite for you, man. I know it's going to change your life. I promise. And that man,
Oh, you don't want this one. This one too strong. This one too strong. You ain't ready for this one
you
yet.
ain't ready for the moldavite, but I'll run out of $150 right there. Hey guys, and welcome back to another piece of our minds. And today what we have for you is 3D, 4D, 5D. What
are they? So we're talking about the 3D state of consciousness. So when you're living in the 3D realm, everything is morely physical. You have fears, you have anxieties. You're really mainly focused on the physical aspects of your life: car, house, money, materials. It's material thing, and it's also where time is very much controlling your life as well. When you're living in the 3D, you don't really have any desire to dig deep and ask questions about the things that are going on around us. We kind of just abide by what we've been told since the day we were born, and that's all we care about, and we're sticking to it. That's 3D. That is living in the 3D. What comes after the 3D is the 4D. You want to take that one away?
Fourth dimensional is about realizing that we're all connected. You start to lose the sense that everything's around you. It's all this simple, clean, straightforward life with a schedule put in front of you. This is more of, you have free will, a clearer consciousness. You understand, yes, that we are all connected. You understand that there's so much more to this world than just the physical. It's more of a mental and an emotional state of being. And you start to discover things about yourself, diving deep, going within yourself to find out who you truly are and the reason why you came to this planet, and just the whole state of being a spiritual being and living a human experience.
You have a desire to dig deep and discover your purpose and live for your divine purpose once you start entering the 4D. You may not know what your purpose is, but you have the desire to fulfill that purpose. And with what he said with everything's connected, when you're in the 3D, you feel that everything's separate. You feel that you're separate from this, and that. But once you enter the 4D, you start to realize that everything is connected. And this is kind of it's almost like an awakening type stage. Like you're shifting
your
into the gateway of the 5D. Yeah, and you are shifting your consciousness. Yes.
You're
which
starting
is happening on the planet right now. A bunch of people are going from 3D to 4D to 5D right now on the planet. It's a massive awakening that's going on, which is why we felt the need to talk about this.
Yes, and a lot of people, the thing about shifting into the 4D is you don't really realize you're shifting into the 4D. The first thing that comes to your mind is oh my God, I'm going crazy. This isn't real. It's hard to comprehend what's really in front of you and what's been in front of you this entire time. And it also comes in with going within yourself, doing that self-meditation to center yourself and understand that this is all real, that the hidden agendas that you're starting to understand are all real.
They're not conspiracy theories. They're
not
actually
conspiracy
real.
theories anymore. It's not crazy. It's real.
Yeah. Conspiracy theory, I know I've said this before, but it was made up by the CIA so that
conspiracy theory is a conspiracy
to put labels on people who are thinking outside the box, and to put labels to make us be oh, they're just conspiracy theorists. That's conspiracy, but there's no proof, which maybe there is no hard physical proof, but it's a knowing. We have this thing called intuition, and it tells us what's going on.
But we've been programmed so blindly in the 3D to not pay attention to our intuition.
Yes.
And our intuition is literally, from the moment we're born, it's guiding us through our life. You in your soul already know what's right and what's wrong. And that's moving into the fifth dimension.
Moving on to 5D. You realize everything's connected. You are one with everything. You have an overwhelming amount of love and joy and compassion inside your heart for other human beings. This is where judgment does not exist. This is where fear does not exist. This is where peace is at.
And the fifth dimension isn't a physical place. It's all mental and emotional.
It's all within your
It's
heart.
all within, and it's all comes from just completely and wholeheartedly starting to truly understand what you're in. And then this is the time when you're going down those rabbit holes, discovering new things. You're getting all this fed information from the universe. These thoughts aren't actually thoughts. They're just things that have already been there. And when you have an open consciousness, you pick up on these things and you learn these things and you bring them back with you to your physical body and your human consciousness, and you can correlate it into your real life and start to understand that energy works in mysterious ways and that you can manifest things you want. You can change your own reality because it's your life.
In this 5D state of consciousness as well, time does not control you. So in the 3D realm, so the way time controls us is, so if we are already assuming what's going to happen next, for example, in the 3D realm, when we work a 9 to 5, we're already imagining and assuming what's going to happen the next day. So when we know, like, oh, this is going to happen the next day, typically, or not even typically, it's the law of attraction. That's what happens because we're attracting into our life. And this is why people work themselves to death, because you're like, oh, I have to work, I have to make this money, and tomorrow I'm waking up at this time, and I'm following my routine, my schedule, and that's how you stay in control. When everything all of a sudden gets switched up and you don't have like a specific schedule to go by, this is where anything is possible. This is where you're opening a portal for anything to enter your life. Like, when you don't know what's gonna happen next is when miracles happen. That's when miracles happen. But when you know what's going to happen next and you're already assuming these things, you're creating that reality for yourself. And that's the reality that you're going to stay in, and you're going to stay stagnant in that 3D kind of time realm. But like I said, in the 5D, time does not exist. Your life is not being controlled by your schedules and your routines, because everything is just, you're going with the flow. You're just going with the flow of life.
And when you're in that state of there's no time doesn't really exist, your future, which there is no future or past, you're just living in the moment. You're just going with everything. It's just a flow.
It's all happening at once.
You literally can manifest how your next day goes by your current day.
Yes.
As long as you keep that positive vibration and stay in that love frequency of the fifth dimension. That fifth dimension consciously will keep you at that elevated state where you can now ascend in to, like, it'll be easier to lucid dream, astral project, all these other ways to connect with your higher self. It's going to be so much easier, and it's going to work. It's going to work. All these manifestations you want, all this abundance you want, it's going to work because you're constantly at a state where there is no right or wrong in the fifth dimension. It's just a sense of knowing what's real and understanding that everything happens for a reason. It's all divine order.
At a soul level, we know what feels good and what feels bad. But we're also programmed to know what's good and what's bad. If we're not programmed to be taught, like, this is bad and this is good, it just is.
It just is just. It just is.
It just is. So, with that being said, I think that we've touched all we needed to touch for that. If you guys have any more questions, we would love to answer them, and leave your questions below.
And if you have any other questions about any other possible dimensions and how to get to those dimensions and what to do and how to learn, drop them in the comments. And with that being said, we love you guys.
Peace.
Oh.
Love you guys.